We lost the applicant, I think. So there we, Marie, you still there?
Well, we have
I'm
Maria,
here,
I
Tom.
think.
Okay,
Okay, yeah, we have everyone.
okay, good, okay.
I'm gonna let Ann back in.
Amanda, you're here?
I am, yep, first time for everything,
Okay.
right?
Okay, so we're here.
I'm sorry, I tried to get them out as fast as I could.
Okay,
I understand that happens on these things.
yeah, that's first time
That's the
experience.
problem.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it's unfortunate, but, okay, Terry, you were saying?
I was saying, asking for 77 square feet is asking for basically a 50% increase in what they've got, which is a very substantial increase and sets a dangerous precedent because anybody else in that plaza or in the village could ask for their signage on the front of the building to be increased by 50%. It's not
Yeah,
an insignificant amount.
The reason why it seems like more is because we have to add letters to the signage. We need to add the grooming dog wash, which we didn't have previously. So that's why we need this variance, because we're adding more signage for the additional,
Services.
you know, services. Yes, thank
Those
you.
services have been in existence in the building for a number of years. I understand your need to market. It still is difficult for me to accept the percent increase because of the president. The sign does look nice. I like the fact that it's all green. It's easy to read, but it's a tremendous amount of increase on the existing signage. That's just
Terry, I just want to ask a question. What do you mean? I know what it means, but what do you mean by precedent? As far as
if
this
we allow
sign is
them to have a
okay,
variance, okay, if we allow them to have a variance because they want to increase marketing a particular service that they are offering, what's to say that everybody in that plaza now can't say, well, I want to make my letters bigger. They were allowed to make their letters bigger. They were able to increase their signage by 50%. I want that 50%.
All right, Terry,
Okay.
if I can speak to that, Mr. Chairman. I spoke to David Lipshin about this application because he is the property manager and he has had a long-standing policy as long as I've been here about not allowing variances on the storefront. So I questioned the validity of this. And he assured me that he and the owners are in support of this because you're right. The service that they're offering, they've been offering for a number of years. It's just they rebuilt the one corner of the store to make for a public wash as well as by appointment type wash. So they have expanded that. And the position of the manager and the owner of the building is that since they invested the money to make the renovation, they wanted to help them by offering the variance. It's my understanding that Dave Lipshin and the property owners still are against offering variance to anybody else. So if there's any consolation, I don't think we'll be faced with this issue because the property owner will stop before it gets to us. They're against variances as a rule. They're making an exception for this one occupancy.
I hear you, but I have a lot of history with this plaza that makes me still state my position the way I feel about the percent increase.
No, I understand.
Okay. The other thing I think that might be taken into consideration now in any terms of worrying about a precedent, the times that we are in right now are kind of unprecedented, right? And we have a situation here where, you know, we're have an opportunity maybe to provide a little bit something for an established business in our village. That's only my 2 cents.
Sarah, could you put the graphic back up, please?
Sure. And I promise it'll just be the
The
sign.
good graphic.
Not that-
I held my breath for a second.
Put my graphic up.
Oh,
Oh, yours is
it's only
boring.
the storefront.
Listen, that was my first Zoom bomb.
Too.
Mine too.
Well, the sign isn't made, is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, can't you shrink the sign a little, just offhand?
So we do have, are you talking for our purposes? Not,
Yes.
okay, okay, just making sure. So we do have another option. And Maria, did you send that one over or no?
No.
We've seen,
That second option is a 2-foot letter, 2-foot high letter, with an overall length of 31.5 feet. It's significantly smaller. The total square footage would be 62.8. So we would be requesting a variance of only 12.8 square feet.
Well, that seems like a better option, but for our purposes at the next meeting, can you supply that to us? And then also, either way, whether we granted the variance or not, we could do it, grant the variance to this business and not the building itself. Is that correct, Sarah? We could limit.
I don't think you could.
I thought we did that in other instances. If
No,
I-
it goes to the property.
Yeah, I can't recall. I know that instead of reducing side yard setbacks in the past, we've allowed an encroachment into the existing setback, and that's how we've kept the setback intact. I don't think we've done that with signage, and I would have to look for case law, but I don't think we could do that.
Oh, okay.
I will throw my 2 cents in here as well. It's something that I understand that the board is concerned with precedent, and maybe one thing to consider in your reasoning of the variance and the consideration. They have a storefront length of 70 feet, which I was just taking a quick look at Google Earth, and I think this is probably one of the longer storefronts in this plaza.
it is.
Let's not think about the ShopRite, but in the other vendors.
Shop, right, yeah.
So the way the code is written is that you're permitted to have X amount of linear feet of signage based on the frontage of your building. But we cap it at 50 square feet. So if we were looking at this, if it was just purely by the amount of linear feet, they could have a 70 square foot sign. But when we wrote the signage code, we decided to cap it at 50. But if you could look at this, just in your reasoning, and this is just throwing that out there, that this, when we're looking at this, you almost see like this is 3 storefronts together. So you could look at this in that manner and consider it. That would lessen the amount of precedent that you're setting, because you're looking at the ratio of what they actually have in frontage versus the size of the sign that they're providing. Whereas the other shops, like the Hallmark, is what I would consider a single vendor, single width retail. The liquor store, I think, is single. And so over the next month, as part of your deliberation on the application, you could consider that as part of what sets this apart from the other shops within the plaza.
Okay.
All right,
Even
if I
going
could-
with the 62 feet, that's a 25% increase over the variance. It's
Sarah,
better
if I-
than 50.
Sorry, if I can follow up on your point, I think the linear frontage of the building is wrong because they have it down here 69.5 feet. The sign is 69.5 feet. So I think what they did was they put the length of the sign down to linear footage. That store is wider than 70 feet. Because that store goes up quite a bit as you face the picture, it goes off to the left quite a bit. So it's more than 70 feet wide. This application is correct.
Okay, so maybe over the next month before the next meeting, the applicant can provide, as Tom Newhart had suggested, the other alternative, so the board has both to compare, and just give us the full length of the building so the board can consider the size of the sign in relation to the entire store frontage.
I think that's a good idea.
I do too.
Tom, I'm sorry, Tom. Are you saying that Pet Supplies Plus their actual lease space is longer, you think, than 70 feet?
Well, I'm looking at your sign. What's up on the screen right now, 69.5 feet. If your
Right.
if your linear footage calculation was correct, that sign would be the entire width of the store, which is not. So what I'm suggesting is that whoever put down linear footage for the front of the building, use the width of the sign, not the width of the building. They might have actually hurt themselves by doing that. We measure the building from corner to corner, the width of the building, from the very corner to the very corner, from the outside of the building. That's how we do it. I would suggest you do the same thing, because I'm guessing it's more than 70 feet. If that sign is 70 feet wide, the store is more than 70 feet wide.
I thought it said the sign is 35 feet, 7 inches.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So the sign,
Yeah,
35 feet, 7 inches.
inches, yeah.
I'm looking at the ones in front of me. I'm looking at the sign of the dimensions. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. So you're saying the store width is 69. Okay, I stand corrected. Never mind.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm still gonna go out and verify, because I think the store is wider than 70 feet, but I'll go out and verify it.
I was gonna say, you might want to verify it, because we actually, on the left-hand side of that graphic, we can't see where the end of the arrow is it's measuring to, so
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
let's just confirm what the actual width of the frontage is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, in this photograph, on the left side where the tower is, to the left of that, there's a blue roof. I can't make out what that is.
That's part of the store. That's part of the store. Because their store goes to the very end of the plaza, out towards Route 9.
Oh, yeah. I
Oh,
remember.
that's the extension of the roof. So I think Tom is right. I don't think you measured all the building. Except we really can't tell where that arrow ends in the tree.
Okay, we'll confirm that.
All right, that sounds good. And then you'll have the other option for us too at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the second option, where the total square footage is 62.8. So we'd be asking for 12.8
Yes.
for the variance.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, do I email that to you, or Tom, do I email the rendering to your email?
Both of us.
Yeah,
Both of us.
Okay. All right, I'll do Sarah and Tom. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Good
Okay,
point.
And then I just want to clarify, would we have to attend another Zoom meeting, or can the board decide after I email everything?
no, so we're required to have a public hearing on a variance application. So presumably the board, it sounds like they're probably comfortable with setting a public hearing for next meeting. Sounds like we'll have all of the information for that. Of course, it's up to the board, but generally we would set the public hearing for next meeting. And traditionally, unless something comes up from the public, there would be a decision that night. We prepare a resolution for that meeting.
Now, Sarah,
Yes.
suppose the other sign numbers come in and say we selected that sign, but that wasn't on the variance application. Does that matter, or is this an amended application
We can certainly amend the application at the meeting.
at the meeting? Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right, thank you.
okay. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
the
you.
flexibility.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good
Right.
evening.
So the only thing that the board will need to do is to have a vote to set the public hearing for next month's meeting.
I'll make a motion that we set a public hearing for Pet Supplies Store for next month.
And I'll second that motion.
That would be March 25th,
Yep.
right? March 25th, public hearing. Okay, all in favor?
But we have to do a roll call
I'm
vote.
doing,
Oh, a roll call. vote. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ann.
That's
I'll get
okay.
this.
Tom Brooks,
Yes,
Tom Newhart,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Terry,
Aye.
Ann.
Aye.
Okay, that's carried.
And let's
Okay.
let's have a more secure Zoom meeting next month.
That's
well,
the
I don't know
problem.
if I'm gonna vote in favor of that, but I'm gonna vote in favor of this other stuff that we have.
That's the problem because we have to publish the information because it's a public meeting, so we can't.
Oh,
Now
God.
the people in, you don't know which one is doing that, so
My
Right.
fault, I let him in.
who knew?
There were two.
Oh, yeah,
there
you
were
can't get, yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It said, please admit whatever his name was.
Oh, oh God, that's how,
He-
okay.
And he did look a little shaky.
He did, because when he popped up, it was like, there's no public hearing. Who's here to talk?
Yeah, no, who is this guy?
I know.
Oh,
Well, that was my.
Oh, well. You woke us up.
We'll have our trigger fingers ready next time. If that happens, we'll just bump everybody else out.
Yeah, because I have to
Good.
say, I've never had to kick anyone out, so it took me a second to figure out how to
I
remove.
think I was trying to do one of them, so maybe we did at the same time, because I finally hit
I
the
think
more
you got
button.
one of
What
them.
what
Yeah.
did you do to get rid of them?
You have to click the more button next to their name,
Yeah,
and then it has
It says
delete or
remove.
remove or whatever, yeah.
okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. So, always an adventure.
Yep.
okay,
Hey,
Very
everyone.
good.
Well, it was nice to see you.
thank
All right.
you.
Mark my
Night, guys.
eyeballs out now.
Good night.
Good
Motion
night.
Set for the
adjourn.
Well.
25th.
Oh, yeah, we have to have a motion to adjourn.
Have a motion, please, to adjourn the meeting.
I'll
I'll
make a motion
second.
to adjourn.
Okay, roll call vote.
Ann made a motion. Who made the second?
I second.
Okay. Okay, roll call vote. Tom Brooks,
Aye.
Tom Newhart,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Terry,
Aye.
Ann.
Aye.
That is carried.
Okay.
I will stop recording.
Okay, good night.
Good night,
Thank you,
everyone.
Hey, everybody.
Good night, all.
See you next
Bye.
month.
Very well.
See you on the
Good seeing
25th.
you again.